Hey students, we are going to be discussing 6.3 today, and that is decimals on a number line. All right, let's start off by doing our bell work for the day. We're going to look at number one. Number one is order of operations, so we want to do grouping first. Some of you may not be familiar with this, so let's talk about it together. This right here means half times. So 1/2 of also means time when we're talking about it in English, the English language. So what is 1/2 of 12? 6. What is 1/2 of 8? 4. So what is 6 plus 4? 10. We just got rid of that. Now let's bring the rest down. 5 squared minus 17. So we have to do exponents first. So 5 squared is 25. That's gone. We have 10 times 25 minus 17. And 10 times 25 is 250 minus 17. So we're going to minus 17 from that. Give myself a little bit more room here. So we're going to go for 233 is our answer. So, not too difficult if you just remember that you have to follow the order of operations, grouping, exponents, divide and multiply, and then add and subtract. Number 2, express the ratio in 3 different ways that's gray to white. So, how many gray do we have? 2. How many white? 3. So, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, and 2 to 3. Okay, pretty simple on that one. Let's look at number 3, part, whole, or I like to call it this, is over of. Is and of. Is means part and of means whole. So not changing anything there, just rephrasing it. And then the percent right here, 95%. What is, I don't know what the is, so we call it X. And the of is 40. So we're going to use cross multiplication now, 100x. And then we're going to use our calculator to do 40 times 95, we get 3,800. When I divide by 100, it means we're moving over the decimal 2 places. So we're going to divide by 100, and we should get 38. Yep. So the answer is 38 is 95% of 40. All right, pretty simple on that bell work. Let's move on. All right, so putting decimals on a number line. Decimals on a number line. I can compare and plot rational numbers on a number line. So let's talk about this for a moment. Again, we are comparing these numbers right here, so we know this one's bigger. So 1 in 2500ths is less than 1 in 7500ths. Then if we're talking about negatives, it follows the same principle. Would you rather owe somebody $2.30 or $1.80? That's how I look at it as decimals, so just turn it into money. Would you rather owe somebody $5.01 or $6.04? Well, I'd rather owe somebody $5.10 because it's less that I have to owe them. Would you rather owe somebody 50 cents or 30 cents? Well, 30 cents because it's less. Or, I'm sorry, not because it's less money, but you get what I'm saying. Look at the number line and it should make sense. Order values from least to greatest, okay? So you can use a number line for this, or you can just start way over to the left and go, okay, which one do I run into first? Negative 450. So this is going to be my number 1. Then I run into negative 1 2/10. Then I run into a half, and then I run into this one. So if we were going to order them and then plot them, we're going to come right here and go, this is 4.5. So I'm going to go, let's just go 4 like that, and then we're going to go negative 1 2/10. Then we're going to go half, and then 1, and so there we go. We're going to go A. B, where's 1 and 2/10 just barely pass, or negative 1 and 2/10 it just barely pass it. So we're going to call that B. C is at a half. So we're going to go that C. And D is 1 and 3/10, so 1 and a third. So about right there, and we're going to call that D. Okay, there we go on that one. Let's do the same for this one. We're going to start way over to the left on our number line. We're going to run into this first. Then we're going to run into this. Then we're going to run into negative half. And then we're going to run into negative third. Now let's place them on a number line. So where would negative 2 and a third be? We're right here. A, B, 1 and 8/10 would be about right there. C, a negative half. And D, a negative third. Woo, so it's real close. It's right there. And there we go. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So what one do I run into first? I run into this one first, so negative 3 and 45/100ths. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to run into 2 and 1600ths next. Then I'm going to run into 3 and 4500ths, and then 4 and 24 1/4 is what that is. So we come to negative 3 and 4500ths, just almost a half. So that's A, B, 2. So there's 2 and 1/16. Put it about right there. C is going to be 3 and a little less than a half, so real close. And then D is 4 1/4, so about right there. All right. So always find the whole number, and then if you look at the decimal, it's really a fraction. So if you say that fraction, then it makes it a little bit easier, I think. So if I say that's 4500ths, well, 4500ths is almost a half. 1600ths, 4500ths, 2500ths. If you think about 2500ths, that's 1/4, because 25 cents is 1/4 of a dollar. So I like to just look at it as kind of how you would look at it as money. It makes it a little bit easier for me, at least. All right, so let's take a look at this practice now. It wants us to graph the number and its opposite. So I'm going to graph negative 7500, so negative 3/4, and that would be negative 7500ths. And then it wants the opposite. So we're going to come right here and go 0.75. So there's its opposite. So the next one, I'm going to change colors to make it a little bit easier for us to see. 3 and 2500ths is going to be a 3 1/4. So I'm going to go 3 and 2500ths. So negative 3 1/4 would be right here. So negative 3 1/4. Oh, change that to a 5. So where would negative 1 and 7/10 be? A little past a half. So about right here. So I'm going to put some of these on the bottom now. Negative 1. And so, whoops, I didn't put my decimal in the right place. 1 and 7/10. And then 1 and 7/10 would be about right here. So 1 and 7/10. And then our last one is 4 1/2. So we're going to put 4 1/2 right here. 4.5. And then negative 4 1/2 would be right here. Okay, so not too bad. Let's take a look at number 5 and number 6. Would you rather owe somebody $3.70, or would you rather have $3.70 or owe somebody negative $3.20? Well, I would rather have money than not have money. So when you're comparing a positive to a negative, the positive is always going to be it's going to always be more positive, or it's going to be greater than. Look at number 6. Negative $10.40 or negative $10.50. 4 cents. Which one would you rather owe? Well, I know it's not a whole lot, but I would rather owe that one. Would you rather, look at number 7, owe $7.90 or $7.40? I would rather the $7.40. And then $3.42 or $3.47. Well, this one's going to be the one I'm going to choose. It's because it's greater. All right, ordering from least to greatest. Some more of this. And guys, all right, I made a mistake, so I'm going to try this again. All right, so first number we're going to run into is -3. Then we're going to run into -2 6/10. Then -1 2/10. Then -1/2. And then 1 5/10. So -3 is where A is going to be. B is at 2 6/10, so B is right here. C is at 1 2/10, so barely past the -1. D is at 1/2, -1/2. And then E is at 1 1.5. All right, so not too bad. Let's take a look at this next one. Put them in order. The one that I'm going to run into first, if I'm reading left to right, is A, would be -1 6/10. Then you would run into B right here, then C, then D, and then E. So I'm going to put those in my place here. So 1 6/10, -1 3/10. Then I've got -2/10. Then I've got 2/10, and then 1 6/10. So -1 6/10 would be about right there. So that's A. B is at -1 1/3, so about right there. They're really that's only 3/10 difference, so they're really close. Then we've got -2/10, which would be C. D is 2/10, so right there. And E is 1 6/10. So you can almost see that there is almost a mirror image of these numbers because they are, opposites of each other. So A is the opposite of E. And B is the only one that's kind of weird there. Then your C and your D are opposites also. All right, let's move on. Okay, so here is your assignment, and these are kind of these activities are just kind of the same thing that we've been dealing with on the practice. Give these your best shot and answer put your answers into Go Formative. Good luck.